Okay, guys, so I believe this is part 4. We're going to cover the assignment details in this video. So we're talking about assignment 5, pointers and references for 5%. So you can find a hyperlink to it in the week 11 folder, or if you come over to the assignments and tests section under assignment 5 folder, you can find the submission portal for it here. And it comes with a main.cpp file that you should download and add to your project. I have that file open here, and we'll just kind of talk through, what it looks like. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and get into it. So you'll see here, I've already started the main class for you, and I've created 2 arrays, one of size 5 and one of size 3, and I've initialized them with some values, array 1 and array 2. I've then printed out array 1 and array 2, as well as their size, and I have also called a function called apply all, which passes the array 1 and the size of the array 1, array 2 and the size of array 2. Now, there is something that is missing from this program. So I have all of these calls to functions, but you'll notice the print function doesn't exist, okay? It doesn't actually, the logic for it is what you have to make, as well as the apply all function. The logic for it is what you have to make, okay? So you have to make 2 functions, a print function and an apply all function. Now, what the apply all function is going to do is it's going to take in those 2 arrays of integers and their sizes, and it's going to dynamically allocate a new array of integers whose size is the product of the 2 array sizes. Now that sounds confusing, but it isn't, okay? So let me explain. So I'll annotate on the screen here, and hopefully this will help you visualize kind of what I'm talking about. So we have array 1 and we have array 2, okay? Now, if I scroll down a little bit here and I annotate, so array 1 and array 2, and here in the apply all function, you're passing in array 1 and array 2, which is these, and then you're also passing in the size, so 5 and 3, okay? So there's 5 elements and 3 elements. So here we have our first array, which has 5 elements, okay? And it's called array 1, okay? And its values are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? And then we have our second array that we're passing in, and it has a size of 3, and it's called array 2, and its values are 10, 20, and 30. Okay, so now what this means is it's going to be the product of the 2 array sizes. So the sizes are 5 and 3, so the product is 5 times 3, which is 15, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to have a new array that you're going to create dynamically based on the size of the 2 arrays you're passing to it. It's going to be 15. It's going to be the product of all of the elements from the prior arrays. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 10, okay? And you're going to times 10 by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4, and by 5. And you're going to get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, okay? And then, if I erase this, okay, then you're going to take 20, and you're going to do 20 times 1, 20, 20 times 2, 40, 20 times 3, 60, 20 times 4, 80, 20 times 5, 100, and so on. And you get the point kind of now. I'll just kind of finish it off here. You know, you're going to take the last one here, which is 30. Oops. You're going to take 30. And as you can guess, 30 times 1, 30 times 2, 30 times 3, 30 times 4, 30 times 5. So, you're going to get 5 more elements, and you're going to end up with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 new elements to put into your new array, okay? So hopefully that visualization helps a little bit. And how it's going to work is it's going to dynamically create that new array. So the function should loop through the second array and multiply each element across each element of array 1. So you can do like a nested loop, right? And have like your I iteration and your J iteration and do a nested loop one inside the other like I just showed you where you're doing 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 10 times 3, 10 times 4, 10 times 5, 20 times 1, 20 times 2, 20 times 3. Okay, and then it's going to store that product. Okay, so basically the multiplication of 20 times 1, 20 times 2 in the newly created array. The function should return a pointer to the newly allocated array. Okay, so how that's going to look here, if I do a little annotation again, is we know we have a function, okay, called apply all. Okay, that's what I'm asking for here. And we know it expects array 1 and size 1. Okay, and it expects array 2 and size 2. Okay, I couldn't fit those all on one line, but this would all be on one line, right? And so array 1 and size 1, they're coming from right here. You have array 1, and obviously your size is 5, which is down here, but I just can't scroll to show you. And then you have array 2, which is right here, and then the size of it, which is 3, which is going to be right there. And then it says the function should return pointer. Okay, well, we know that it's an array that stores ints, and we know how to return a pointer. We return an int, and we use that key asterisk, right? So now we know we're going to be returning a pointer. Okay, and then it says the function should return a pointer to the newly allocated array. So then basically it's returning this pointer, and then when you call this function, you're going to store it into another pointer over here that you created in your main function, right? And that's going to be what stores it. Okay, the next instructions on line 11, you can also write a print function that expects a pointer to an array of integers and its size and display the elements in the array. Okay, so we have a print function, okay, and we know that it expects a pointer to an array of integers, okay? So we know it expects a pointer to an array, and we also know it expects a size, okay? And then we know it's going to display the elements, right? So it's cout, whatever, and looping through the size of this array. And you're going to have to use that dereference, that dereference symbol to get the different elements from the array in your cout, right? And you can go like this and use array syntax or subscript notation and do that. And we also know that this print function doesn't return anything, so we know it's a void. Okay, so hopefully that helps. For example, below is an output from the following code, which would be in main. So here we have, our main arrays. We cout array 1, and we call the print function. And how it will look is it'll go print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we cout array 2 and print array 2, and it's going to print 10, 20, 30. And then we're going to do the apply all function, which will pass array 1, the size of array 1, which is 5, array 2, and the size, which is 3. And then it's going to print out result here, and then it's going to print out, we're going to call the print function, which will print our results array, which was stored, right? That's a pointer, and that's stored from whatever the apply all function returns, because remember, it returns a pointer. So we're going to return that pointer into a variable within the main function's scope, and then we're going to pass it back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. Do not hard code these numbers. I'm going to be checking the code to make sure you actually got it to work properly, because if you hard code it, then it's not actually going to be doing it dynamically in memory, right? So hopefully that helps. Good luck. Have fun. If you have questions, email me. It is more confusing than it actually sounds. You just have to write those two functions. And, if you get stuck, take a break. Don't get too frustrated. Everyone gets stuck programming. I'll show you an example of what it should look like here. So when you run it, it'll just print it out like this. Array 1, array 2, and then the results of multiplying those arrays. Cool. So I'm going to end the recording here. You can come back here if you're confused about the specifications. And if you have questions, just email me.